everybody. If you have ever been tempted to buy a pre-built e-commerce website because you wanted the shortcut, you wanted to take a shortcut to success in dropshipping or e-commerce, I get it. I did it. But I've been in the game long enough to tell you, those shortcuts will always lead nowhere. In this episode of Straight Talk Commerce Podcast, we're going to dive into what really happens when you buy one of those ready-made businesses and what to do instead. And by the way, as a bonus, if you've already done it, I'm going to tell you what to do now to make it successful. I am Wayne Altman. This is Straight Talk Commerce Podcast. We begin in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Just the real deal. Wayne Altman's here. Yeah, you know the drill. Talking business, talking shop, making moves non-stop. From e-com to hustle, straight talk, no props. Straight talk, no gimmicks, no lies. Hey, I break it down with the sharpest minds. Money, moves, mindset, grind. If you're ready to win, then tune in live. Super big names, big games. All the lessons they bring from Jelly Belly to AA Kings. From the startup grind to the top tier pros. We crack the code. Now here we go. Straight talk, commerce, getting to know with Wayne Altman. Let's start the show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You know, today we're going to dive into one of the biggest traps I see new e-commerce entrepreneurs fall into. Buying a ready-made website and expecting to make money on it very quickly. I see the ads all the time. I have responded to those ads myself. It is an absolute travesty. Let's break down what's really going on here. These websites seem appealing because they promise a lot of passive income. There's no setup. They do all the setup for you. It's very low effort. And you end up making a whole lot of money by running a few ads. The buzzwords, done for you, automated, instant profit, drop ship ready. I mean, these people know exactly what keywords they need to jump in on in order to get you to buy one of these sites. And the emotional triggers are there as well. A lot of us are very impatient. You have a fear of technology, a desire to quit the job that you already have, and maybe you know someone that's been able to do that after a few years of doing e-commerce. It sounds like a dream. Just plug in your credit card and start collecting sales. It's a miraculous thing. What you're really buying, though, is a template and not a business. And this is what I'm talking about here. You have you're trying to build a brand. You want to build a brand. So you really should be starting off with one product and adding to those products. What I see so many times is multiple products in a store, and all that store is in a template, and it looks exactly like every other store on Etsy, Shopify, WooCommerce, any of these platforms. So you've started with this store that has not been indexed or trusted by Google, have zero backlinks, no blog content, no domain authority, zero traffic going to that store, and that's really what you're looking for here. So all of your traffic is going to be purchased traffic. You are going to have to spend money from day one on advertising to actually get an audience. These sites are generic and they're overused, and they have product catalogs that are in hundreds and hundreds of other stores. They just pour in a product catalog straight from the last one that they just worked on. They collect your $4,000 or $10,000 and they immediately move on to the next one. And it takes, by the way, months and months for you to get this store, but by then you've already spent your $4,000 to $10,000 on the store, and you're stuck now. You've spent $4,000, $10,000 on a store that should have cost you around $1,000 to set up and get ready. And that, you heard me correctly. They usually pull these product catalogs from someone like AliExpress or some public drop shipping app. Um, and most of those are to be shipped, drop shipped from overseas somewhere. That's really these days a very bad recipe for disaster. You are not going to be successful if that's going to be your model. There's no exclusivity. In other words, every product that you're going to sell, someone else is already selling, hundreds and hundreds of them, and you've done no research to find out if the products they put in your website actually sell. So you have a catalog full of products that either do not sell at all or have not been researched. You know nothing about them. It's a recipe for disaster. You have no exclusivity. There's high competition and very low trust with you because your business just began. You have either weak or no branding whatsoever. Your logos they give you are generic. Your site lacks any kind of history or story or mission or any customer focus. No one's ever done business with you before. There's no real reason for a customer to choose your store over Amazon or a real brand, and that's why it's going to be so tough to sell from one of these stores. It's going to be almost impossible. These people use fake and inflated revenue claims. Believe that. A common scam is showing Shopify screenshots or photoshopped earnings and presenting them to you as they're real. And, frankly, they're not. What you want to do if you're actually going to have someone build a website for you, which I would encourage you not to do that. And I'll tell you why a little bit later. But if you're going to do that, you want to ask for verified profit and loss. You want to ask about any ad accounts that they have, what the data is there as far as how much are you spending in ads. And then I want to see supplier invoices. I want to see, hey, what am I paying for these products and what am I able to sell them for? You begin a business that's all set up, ready to go with zero customer data or zero retargeting setup. You're not buying a list, a community, or a reputation. You're just buying a shell, a hull of a store. You have no leverage for email. You have no leverage for messages or return customer strategies. You don't know anything about those things. So if someone did buy something from you, you wouldn't even know how to do a return if they needed to return it for some reason. Let's talk about the real cost let's get behind the curtain and the real cost. Buying a site for $2,000 to $10,000, that's only the beginning, okay? There are multiple hidden costs to running a dropshipping business, and here's some of them. Paid ads. You're going to want at least $500 to $2,000 per month just to test. That's what it's going to cost you just to test products. Your graphic design and your content creation, those are also going to either cost you or you're going to have to know how to generate that. Trust building through reviews and influencer marketing. You're going to have sales up front in order to do that. And that needs to start on a smaller scale unless you plan on buying your customer reviews. And I would highly, if you want to destroy a business, that's the best way to do it. Buying customer reviews from some website. It absolutely does not pass the smell test. Learning customer support and fulfillment and logistics. You'll skip over all of those things with a business like this. You won't know they'll turn it over to you and you won't know the first thing about how to do that. And it's like buying a food truck with no recipes, no customers, and no idea where to park it. It's just not a very good idea at all. Let me talk to you for a minute about the education that you're actually missing out on here. When someone else builds your business, you will miss out on foundational skills, foundational business skills. Number one, research. You won't know the first thing about how to do research. You never learn how to study trends, competitors, or what customers actually want. And if you've paid any attention to previous episodes of Straight Talk Commerce, you will learn how to do those things. You should already be familiar with how those things are done. We just did an episode on researching dropshipping products, which led to this episode. Actually, we should have flipped those around, and that's my bad. Copywriting. Hey, you don't learn how to communicate benefits over features, handle objections, or write headlines that will convert. These people that you've spent all that money on, they did it for you, and in such a generic and watered down way, and they've sold it to multiple other people that it is absolutely worthless to you. Digital marketing. Here you go. You miss out on hands-on experience of managing ads, learning metrics like ROAS, CAC, AOV. If you don't know what those acronyms mean, you really need to go back to the drawing board. Save your money. Do not go with one of these companies. Your customer journey optimization. If you don't learn feedback loops that teach you how people use your site, how to measure that, and where you lose them, your website is dead in the water. Doesn't matter who built it. You absolutely need to know what the customer journey looks like so you can do something about it later on. There is a certain resilience that's built through trial and error. You get to find out firsthand. You're the entrepreneur. You get to find out and get stronger with failure. Every time you fail, you get a little bit stronger. You learn a little bit more. Turnkey sites will rob you of that growth, of that knowledge. They're actually stealing that information and keeping it from you. And that is not a good place to be if you expect to be successful at doing this. Buying a business is very much like skipping school and expecting a diploma. You might wear the cap, you may have on the gown, but you did not earn the skills and education that is going to carry you through and make you successful. It's time to flip the script. The person selling the ready-made site is learning the valuable skills. They're testing offers, they're writing copy, they're perfecting landing pages on you. That's why you bought from them. Now, here's when a pre-built site may, and I stress might, work. When you're buying a real brand with traction, with real traction and not a theme, your traffic and SEO rankings are there, visible, and very highly ranked. You actually have a P&L, a profit and loss statement, and customer data comes along with the business. Product market fit is proven with repeat buyers. You have people coming back to you over and over and over again. Transferable ad accounts and supplier relationships that this company can introduce you to. So what I'm saying here is there is a big difference between buying one of these ready-made, hot off the shelf sites that has done zero business, done nothing, and buying a business that is already 2, 3, 5 years in and has profit and has a business. It's an actual business behind that. And that's where the mistake my friend and I, we miscommunicated. He has vast amounts of business experience. I would trust him to run one of my businesses any day of the week. It's not a problem. It's starting the business. It's lacking that initial information. That's where I think he's going to stub his toe. And it's not having, if he had purchased a company that was actually a concern, that probably would have been a much better circumstance for him. Which leads me to what to do instead. Start with passion or curiosity. Choose a niche or problem that you care about and can talk about for hours. Build a real brand. You want to have a name, a logo, a mission, but most importantly, a unique angle on that. It needs to be something that you care about. You want to be able to test, and small at first. You want to have a one product landing page and test offers on social media. See if you can get people to buy something from you. And you start with one product. Brings to mind a slushy cup. You put the cup in the freezer, you pour a liquid in there, and you make slush. And it was a banger. It was everybody was selling them, and it went absolutely hog wild. We're going to talk about that. Next episode is about virility, things going viral. We're going to talk about some of those things. You want to invest in skills, not shortcuts. Learn basic SEO, copywriting, ad testing, even if you outsource that later. And you're probably going to want to do that. So I'm no problem with outsourcing some of these tasks, but you need to know the basics of them, because when someone returns work to you, you should be able to tell right away, this is good or this is not going to work. Think long term. The best online brands are built over 6 to 18 months. They're not built overnight. And really, in the grand scheme of things, 6 to 18 months is not a long time to ask of you. You can either buy someone else's idea or build your own foundation. One will create freedom. The other will create frustration. And I think you know which one is which. Buying someone else's idea is going to create frustration for you, but if you build your own foundation and know about it and learn about it, that will create freedom for you. Pre-built sites look like a shortcut, but they will lead to more work, less learning, and zero profit for you. It will be a very frustrating experience and a very hard lesson. Share this episode with a friend thinking about buying a turnkey business, because, look, that's really what we're all about. You have got to think to yourself, am I taking away too much of the work from myself? Do I know when someone hands me this, do I know what it is they did? Do I know how to fix it if it's broken? These are things that you got to take into consideration before you go and buy a business like this. Reach out to me with your own story, good or bad, and I want to hear your experiences on ready-made e-commerce. I have hundreds of friends. Back when I did a golf product store, I did this. I spent $4,000 of my wife and I, our hard-earned money, and that absolutely flopped because I realized way too late that I could not get quality products at a margin where I could sell them and make any money. And it was very embarrassing because I had done this work for other people for a very long period of time. I'd been in e-commerce for years before I did this, and it was embarrassing to me that I made that kind of mistake. Okay, well, that's it from me. It's easy to chase what looks fast and easy, but real business growth comes from learning, testing, and building something real, not someone doing everything for you and you being expected to just pick up and take over. I hope that this episode helped you dodge that trap and choose the long game. Really educate yourself, because this could be a hell of a lot of fun. One thing you need to know is you got this. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend, and I will see you next week.
No fluff, no hype, just the real deal. Wayne Altman's here, yeah, you know the drill. Talking business, talking shop, making moves non-stop. From e-com to hustle, straight talk, no props. Straight talk, no gimmicks, no lies. Hey, I break it down with the sharpest minds. Money moves, mindset, grind. If you're ready to win, then tune in live. Big names, big games, all the lessons they bring, from Jelly Belly to AA Kings, from the startup grind to the top tier pros, we crack the code. Now here we go. Straight talk. the show.